Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, Staying Clean. I'm so happy you're here. And today we're going to talk about programs in recovery. What programs work and what programs don't, or what programs someone that you care about and love needs to be in recovery, and which one you think that you would want them to go, one that you think that is a good fit for them. And I have to think back to my experience in the beginning of my recovery. My first connection with recovery and recovery program was when I had multiple heart attacks and I went into a program in Paterson, New Jersey, called the Passaic of Arts. And I was in that program. And it was a good program, 30-day program. But it wasn't enough, because we're dealing with the disease of addiction, and 30 days is just not enough to keep a person focused. I believe, this is just my take, this is not facts, but I believe that I look at my situation, I needed more because of the path that it took me. But the interesting thing is that when you learn information about addiction and recovery, it puts that stigma over it looking bright in our eyes. We're realizing that it's a problem before we realize it wasn't a problem. That wasn't the problem, but it was the problem, because we was not focusing on the problem that we needed to address. So I found out that if you leave a 30-day program, they want you to at least complete the first 3 steps. They want you to have 10 contacts of people. You want to have a sponsor to walk you through the program of recovery, and you must have a home meeting. This is what they want you to have upon completion. And that means that you're relying on me to be that open and willing to do these things. But Robert been in active addiction for a very long time. Robert had a lot of good times in his addiction and using and abusing cocaine. Partied like it was 1999, like the song. So that wasn't just enough to keep him accountable. He needed more. I needed more. I needed more. But at the time, did not know that. So as time goes on, as we do what we do, we continue the path that we was traveling, figure making better choices, still expecting different results. I came along with jail time several times. And this particular time, I was tired. I was tired of the vicious cycle that was constantly going on. I was tired of it being in that active mode, making sure I don't get caught by the police, but enjoying myself to the fullest. Putting myself in situations that would send me away for the rest of my life. But kept doing what I needed to do so I can live this false sense of a great life, that a world I created, that I was constantly duping myself. It wasn't real. So when I walked into this work program, this is different. Now you have to work and pay your way. That made me feel good about myself because I paid my own rent. Where addiction has knocked me all the way down, this work program gave me meaning. I paid my rent. We went through testing, passes, testing, had the meetings. There was requirements we had to do. But I was standing on my own 2 feet. No matter no matter how much pain I looked at myself on the things that I've done to myself and others, I felt good about myself because I was taking care of myself. Then I was able to help others, which gave me joy and happiness. It gave me self-worth. But as I was in this program, I'm watching people come out like a revolving door. Because they was going through a whole lot of other stuff in their lives that needed some immediate attention. And they didn't know how to ask for help. And in some cases, they had to go search for the help because it wasn't there, which caused them, in their weak state, to choose active addiction again. There are long-term programs, year programs, 9-month programs, 6-month programs, offering more time, more education, more commitment. But as they leave these programs, they're held to the information that they learned, the suggestions that are told that they should do, and hopefully the life that they built while they was there, they can have that same life when they're away from the program. But I think that all that I've experienced, all that I've learned, and all the research that I've done, I believe that a 2-year program has a better chance for a person staying clean and sober than anything else. Yes, a 2-year program. And the 2-year program would consist of you working your 12 steps. It would be a work program where you would go out and work, you would come back, How you do in your program will determine whether you get a day pass or weekend passes to go visit family and friends. Where there are activities that the family can come on the weekends to see their loved ones. A program where they teach a person to make sure they have a sound, solid job, that they can be there for 10 or 15 years, that they're stable, that that person is saving a percentage of his paycheck on a weekly basis as conditioned to be there. And after he's been there a year, then he has the right to move to their sober living, which where they will live there by themselves, pay their rent, go to work, come out, and have the same thing where the family can come for the weekend and stay with them. Every weekend. Where they learn to be able to rely on themselves, work a program of recovery in the recovery environment they're living in. Where they feel comfortable as they saving their money, as they're paying their rent, as they building sound connection with those they hurt in their addiction. Wives getting back with their husbands, husbands getting back with their wives, mending fences with their children, building a sound relationship. And I believe under those circumstances of a year like that, gives them commitment and understanding. And after the 2 years, give them a hell of a send-off. And they get to look at just how much money they saved, where they can walk out their door, pack their things, and move with their loved ones. Or if not, they could stay there and continue on living their life in recovery. I believe a 2-year program built on that nature and that status, where they have constant connection immediately with people like them that have time in recovery, that are professionals that can help a person and direct them in the manner that they need to go for themselves. That connection, that they care. That connection, they care about us. They are concerned about our welfare. To make them feel good about themselves, that there are people that care. Because see, in active addiction, the stigma, we're the scum of the earth. We don't deserve nothing. We weak. As I am in recovery, even now when I tell a person that I'm a recovering addict, they look at me like, oh my goodness. No wonder your teeth are messed up. You're a dope fiend. My teeth ain't messed up because I was a dope fiend. got hit with a lead pipe. My teeth got knocked out my mouth. I had a plate. But 6 people beat me up so bad that they broke my plate inside my mouth. Cut my mouth all the way up. I choose not to wear a plate or get a plate because of the damage that plate did to my mouth. People draw conclusions with not knowing the facts because you're an addict, you're a dope fiend. People say, wow, man, that happened to you? Yeah. Yeah. I just leave it like that. I'll put it to you this way. The lifestyle that I was living was nothing nice. And I'll leave it like that. So it's sad that people have to put people down to make themselves look and feel better about themselves. When I hear a person say those people, that automatically tells me that you feel you're better than them, those people. That you're judging them. I believe in God. I believe in the Bible. And in Matthew's, it said, do not judge, or you'll be judged by the same measure. And I take that to heart. So when I judge another human being about their lifestyle and their actions, I believe that I'll be judged by the same measure. And I don't want that. Because the judgment that I pronounce on someone else, that judgment will be pronounced on me. And I don't want that. So I don't judge a person for their choices. That's their choice, that's their way. But who am I to say I'm better than that person because of the choice they made? When I am a faulty person and I make mistakes. Like the Bible says, you without sin cast the first stone. So how can you throw stones at someone else when you have sin? How can we help someone in addiction to get to recovery when we're pointing fingers? People need that connection, that human connection, that they are being seen for who they are, not for what life has done to them. When a person knows you see them, they have that dynamite connection with you. They feel safe because you're seeing who they are on the inside, not on the out. People in addiction, there are some that have destroyed everything around them, that there's nothing left. And when they get on the road to recovery, They don't need a pat on the back. They need connection. They need support. They need help. And each person is different. Each person's situation is different. You can't put everybody's situation in one basket and expect it all to come out the same way. No, no, no. We all got to the road to addiction a different way. It affected us a certain way at a certain time, caused us to go past that imaginary line where there's no return. I believe that a 2-year program of a person standing on their own 2 feet with loved ones and friends, but still standing on their own 2 feet, living at a sober living after a year of completing the program, which this program should be connected to the sober living, which he has access to the person that's counseling him in the program of recovery with the program, that has a working knowledge of understanding that person and helping him find a way to find out what works for him and how he can live or she can live their best life. I don't believe that. Here's the thing. We're a country that we put Band-Aids on things. We don't want the cure. We just want to put a Band-Aid on, a temporary Band-Aid. So it'd be like a revolving door. So money can be made. Money keeps flowing. It's a revolving door. But that's not investing in people that are suffering. We need to invest in people more. Walk with them all the way through. Be supportive. There are not that many programs out there that are a year plus. Do your research. Fine. Long-term program is the best program because you learn to accept where you're at in your recovery. You watch yourself get better. You grow with people like you doing the same thing. And the more you stand on your own 2 feet, the stronger you get, where you can eventually leave there, go back to your family, your loved ones, and stand tall. Or you've built a new life, a new set of friends, and people that love and care about you. Or you can stay at the sober living and be an example to others. I believe this course of action works. I believe in work program because when you take care of yourself, when you make your own money after coming out of addiction, you're feeling positive and good about yourself because you're going to be facing the pain and the faults of your mistakes. You're going to have to clean the wreckage of your past. But if you're working every single day to take care of yourself and you're being taught how to have money but not run to the dope man, and you don't do that anymore, you start to feel good about yourself. You start to feel that you have some control over your actions. You start to stand tall in your recovery. You're willing to listen and learn because the life that you've chosen is making you better and you see it. You're paying your bills. You're paying your rent. You get to go to the guys to the store and buy you some of them goodies. Y'all get together for the basketball game or the football game that's coming on. You get to share your strength and hope with each other. You get to share the pain that you're experiencing and how y'all can uplift each other and keep going forward in recovery. It's connection. It's building a family of people like you that care about you, that is concerned about your welfare, that doesn't hold your addiction over your head, that doesn't hold your past over your head to beat you up with it. The thing that's most important is that it doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter how far you've come from your addictive life. There's always going to be people that's going to throw your past, your addiction, the stigma in your face. There's always going to be somebody that's going to say, you're the scum of the earth. You're a dope fiend. You're a crackhead. But here's the thing. I've been told that with years of recovery. When it first would happen, it would hurt. Because I know that's what I used to be. But as time went on, recovery told me I can't change people, places, or things. So if that's what you think, I can't change it. But I don't care because that's not me. And just because you say that's me doesn't mean that that's me. I know who I am today. I know what I've done in my past. I know that a power greater than myself restored me to sanity and forgave me for what I'd done to myself and others. I asked for forgiveness to those people. I made amends to them people, but they choose their choice of action. Some forgave me, some still call me the scum of the earth, some still hate me. Some don't want to have nothing to do with me. I can't control that. That's their choice, that's their right. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It does. But I'm not beating myself up over that. I'm not allowing that to make me go back down the rabbit hole and pick up because you will not accept me for who I am today. I love who I am today. I stand tall for who I am today. And I'm here standing tall to let you know that you did the work and recovery to get where you're at today. You brought yourself through the stigma and the looks and the mudslinging while you was recovering. But you still stood tall. You still kept your focus on your recovery, and look what you've become today. I believe that a 2-year program is good for someone that has lost everything, that has nothing left, that there's nobody there to say, it's okay, you're going to do it. We're going to work through it. I know you can do it. But there's nobody there but the people, strangers in recovery. They need support. They need the connection with others like them. They need to have an opportunity to have someone that they can share their pain and what they're going through and how they're trying to get through whatever holding them back. Now, when we're dealing with addiction, the system puts a Band-Aid on it, so it's a revolving door, so the money keeps flowing and the money keeps being made. Programs, insurance paying, and everybody's getting paid. The sad thing is, if there's children involved, if children's involved, what happens? They go to the foster care system. They swoop them right up. Now they have their challenges too. Because there's a lot of places where the children are placed where abuse is high on children. Sexual abuse, physical abuse. Some of them we just used as cash cows. The government gives them some money, and that's all they're concerned about. They don't care about them children. But there are some good ones out there. There's some good people out there that's doing their best and all they can to help. But there are also a lot of people out there that are not. And the system is such in desperate need that the background checks and and all the information, and they're not following up, and it's overloaded. And it's just like a revolving door. Less workers, more caseloads. The child is suffering also. Wouldn't it be great if the parents lived together and was in the same program together, where they have their meetings? Because they're not addicts, but they're subject to the pain of the abuse of an addict. How the family can connect and understand what's truly going on, that they can work on their personal and emotional and mental disorders, or situations that they need to face or correct together as a family, that they can build a sound, strong foundation in recovery as a family, that each other understanding what has happened to them and where they need to recover from. I believe that recovery takes a village. A recovery takes family. The whole family needs to be locked in with the recovery. And when it's like that, I believe that there's a greater chance of a person staying clean and sober. It's a greater chance for the child to understand exactly what's happened to the parent and not hold the parent so much accountable as they were disliked or hated because they were there in their way. They'll find out that they have a disease, that they'll get to understand the symptoms, that they can see if their parents going off rail because they're getting knowledge and understanding about the program of recovery and what addiction does. So by that, everybody's holding each other accountable to their actions, which would help each other stay clean and sober and not feel victim to the hell that addiction gives. I think it's a family thing where we can be open about what we're feeling, about what we're going through. Child be able to open up to the parent. Well, daddy, this is what you did and it hurt me. I don't understand. We're in a setting, a clinical setting, where the answers can be answered and the healing can begin. Everybody has to heal. Not only the addict that has to heal, but the family has to heal also because of the trauma that the addict put the family through. The child has to be healed of what they've seen and the pain it brought them. Together we can. By ourselves we cannot. So I hope you understand and got some good information. When you know someone or there's someone that love is involved, that you love and you care for, that you have a dying concern about them, where love is involved, do your research on the program. Commit them to check out something long term, to give them a chance to rest, to decompose from the addiction, to find out what works for them and how they can stay clean and sober, and how you could contribute to this program of recovery so you understand exactly what your loved one is going through and how it affected you and make you feel a certain way. Information and understanding what addiction does is a plus to staying clean and sober. Understanding addiction, that it's a disease, takes away the stigma of addiction. But there's going to always be people out there that's going to talk about it in a negative way. There's always going to be people like that. There's always going to be a stigma. I learned that in living that people get off on making themselves look better than another person or trying to present themselves better than another person, that they have it going on, living a false sense of themselves. But they go out of their way to make sure that they generate this. Program of Recovery teaches us to live life on life's terms, that we have no control over people, places, or things, but we do have control over ourselves if we pay attention to ourselves. I hope you choose wisely the program of recovery. I hope you do your research to find out what program is best suited for you. I hope that you choose a long-term program to give yourself rest and a footing that's rooted in the program of recovery. A quick fix never works. A quick fix never works. Trust me, I've tried it so many times, and all I did was make things worse. But when I do things the right way, it works out well. The fear of going down a road that I had known nothing about, which was recovery. I know how to get high. I know how to con. I know how to manipulate. I know how to pull the scam. I know how to steal. I know how to rob. I know how to keep dope, but I don't know how to live clean and sober. That's something that I've been learning, living life on life's terms. And even though I have a good amount of time in recovery, even though I have years, I still have today. I don't focus on time because I remember when I had 18 months and I thought I was all that in a bag of chips. I was looking down at people that had less time. I started putting myself on a pedestal, and that pedestal got blown to bits because I fell right back into acts of addiction. That moment, I didn't stay out now. I came back to the rooms with my tail tucked down. And I realized that I only have today. That the most important time is me staying clean and sober today. If I stay clean and sober today, this 24 hours, I'm good. And when tomorrow comes, I worry about that 24 hours, and I'm good. My days turn into weeks, my weeks turn into months, my months turn into years, but I only have today. Yesterday doesn't matter, because if I get high today, that's what matters. Today. So when I clean up the wreckage of my past and I keep moving forward and I just stay in the 24, it's easy. It's simple. I discipline myself for that 24. And it turned into years, and it feels like it's new because I concern myself with the 24. When I was in a program, there was a lot of people that had 15, 20, 25 years relapse and die of overdose. And in my mind, I was like, how can you get 20 years clean? What happened? They didn't keep it in the 24. They started to rely on the years that they had. I got 20 years, so I'm good. I know enough information. And slowly stop doing the things that they needed to do to stay clean and sober. Because they felt they had enough time to not do these things, that they had enough wisdom and understanding not to do these things. And they fell victim to addiction. I put it like this. My demon is sleeping. My addictive demon is sleeping. And I don't want to wake him up. That's why I work on my 24. I keep focused on the 24 today. If I stay clean and sober today, I have a chance of staying clean and sober tomorrow. And that's what's important to me. Because that way I'll get to be able to die clean and sober. That means I've beaten addiction because I died clean and sober. Pick your program. Do your research. Give yourself 2 years. Find the longest program that you can find with the most benefits out of the program that you could get. And get yourself in that program and hold yourself accountable for the time to complete that program. And if you don't like what you've completed within them 2 years, you have enough money and enough things to have the party that will overdose you and put you in the grave. You can go back and try to beat overdose, but it's coming. You just don't know when. That one time could be your last. But if you give yourself them 2 years or the longest program that you can find and you commit to that program, I guarantee you, you'll like the person that you become, you'll like the lifestyle that you have. And you did it yourself. So you'll be proud of who you are and what you've become. This is Robert Goodman from Positive Strokes, wishing you a great day. And remember, only you can give you the dreams of your life if you work for them. You have a great, wonderful day.